It is a moment that has shaken Kenya to its very core, a day that will forever be remembered in the country's political history. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, the man often called Baba or the father of Kenyan democracy, has died at the age of 80. According to official reports, Odinga collapsed during a morning walk while in India, where he had been receiving traditional medical treatment. Doctors at Devamatha Hospital in Kochi confirmed he suffered a fatal heart attack. It was 9:52 in the morning when the nation's most recognizable political voice fell silent forever. News of his death spread like wildfire across Kenya. Within minutes, streets in Nairobi, Kisumu, and Mombasa filled with stunned citizens, some in tears, others waving orange flags, the symbol of his political party, ODM. Raila was more than just a politician. To millions, he was the embodiment of resistance, the man who stood up against dictatorship, detention, and injustice for decades. His death immediately brought Kenya to a standstill. President William Ruto declared 7 days of national mourning, ordered flags flown at half-mast, and announced that Odinga would be given a state funeral with full honors, a recognition reserved only for the greatest sons of the nation. Raila Odinga's body was flown back to Kenya from India the next morning under tight military escort. Thousands of mourners crowded Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, chanting, "Baba, Baba," as the plane carrying his remains touched down. Security forces struggled to control the crowds. The sheer emotion of the moment was overwhelming. Some even broke through airport barriers just to catch a glimpse of the casket draped in the Kenyan flag. Traffic across Nairobi came to a halt as the motorcade moved slowly toward the city center. But the mourning did not stop there. As the body was taken for public viewing at Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, tragedy struck again. The massive turnout turned chaotic as tens of thousands tried to force their way into the stadium. Police responded with tear gas and warning shots, and panic spread through the crowd. Several people were injured, and reports confirmed at least 4 fatalities. The scene was heartbreaking, a painful reminder of how deeply Kenyans loved and admired this man. Despite the chaos, the day was filled with prayers, songs, and chants celebrating his lifelong struggle for democracy and justice. On October 17th, Kenya observed a public holiday for Raila Odinga's state funeral at Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi. It was a ceremony unlike any other, attended by President Ruto, Deputy President Kindiki, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and international dignitaries from across Africa. In his tribute, Ruto described Odinga as a patriot of uncommon courage, a unifier, and a visionary who put his country before self. From the capital to the countryside, millions followed the service on television, radio, and social media. A few days later, Odinga was laid to rest in his hometown of Bondo, Siaya County, beside his father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, the man who had once led Kenya's independence movement. Raila Odinga's passing marks the end of an era in Kenyan politics. For more than 4 decades, he shaped the nation's democratic journey, from challenging one-party rule in the 1980s, enduring years in prison, to leading powerful reform movements that transformed Kenya's political landscape. He ran for president 5 times, came close to victory, and yet remained a steadfast advocate for peace and dialogue, even after disputed elections that divided the country. Many credit him for helping craft the 2010 Constitution that expanded freedoms and decentralized power. His resilience, charisma, and deep connection to ordinary citizens made him one of Africa's most respected political figures. Reactions to his death poured in from around the world. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi mourned Odinga as a towering statesman and cherished friend of India. African Union leaders praised him as a pan-African hero who fought for democracy and unity across the continent. Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu, South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, and many others sent heartfelt condolences. Even Kenya's fiercest political rivals put aside their differences, describing his passing as a loss not only to Kenya, but to Africa as a whole. Back home, Kenya remains united in grief. Streets are lined with orange flags, murals of his face appear overnight, and prayers continue in churches and mosques. In the halls of parliament, lawmakers wear black ribbons in his honor. The ODM party, now under the temporary leadership of his brother, Senator Oburu Oginga, has vowed to keep his vision alive, a vision of justice, fairness, and unity for all Kenyans. For a man who spent his life fighting for democracy, Raila Odinga's death has reminded the world of how one individual's courage can define a nation. His story, from prisoner to prime minister, from protest leader to peacemaker, is one of sacrifice and legacy. And now, as Kenya lays its most iconic opposition leader to rest, the echoes of his voice and his message, Kenya is worth fighting for, will live on in the hearts of generations to come.